This is my first one. Jurassic Park is number 1. My number 2 and number 3, I have no idea. But this one specifically is the movie that made me want to make movies. I watched this when I was like 6 years old on VHS on a little TV about that big, maybe a little smaller. And I was really obsessed with dinosaurs. So I looked up, I was like, how'd they get real dinosaurs? Because I thought they were real. And I saw this picture, like behind the scenes or whatever, like a big half a T-Rex on like a train track. And then next to it, I saw what I thought was a train. It was a camera on rail. I know it's a dolly now. And anyways, I was like, what's that? And so that's why this is my number 1. Home Alone. It's a great movie. Similar to Jurassic Park, I think it has heart that a lot of modern movies don't. It's very funny. Specifically that scene in the church between the guy who's supposed to be scary and the kid, Kevin. It's a great movie. I watched it a lot when I was little. It has a lot of meaning to me. E.T. I like aliens. I think it's cool. Hopefully they're friendly like E.T. Another childhood movie that I really like. I think it captures the whimsy of like coolness. I don't know. Love the music. All these movies have really good music. So yeah, it's something that I could even play, just listen to. It's just a really good movie. Hello, I'm Robbie Skaff, writer, director, etc. These are my Desert Island picks, and welcome to the Film Stock Podcast.
Local talented filmmakers lately, so it's like really nice to have you on the podcast, especially after having gone through both your website and your YouTube channel, which I gotta be honest was a little intimidating.
Oh, okay.
Intimidating in a good way. Like there's just like a lot of content on there.
It's a bunch.
You've been doing this a while.
Yeah, kind of like there's only like probably 4 that I like would want to talk to people about and like be like I like them all, but yeah, I don't know, I don't remember, maybe like 30, 40 or something
like that. Every time I'd scroll it'd be like loading more.
Oh yeah,
I did that like 4 times. I'm like, wow.
My first, I guess so. My first one was probably sometime in middle school, but those, I don't know if those count. But
did you start out with like a little DV Handycam?
So my what did I don't know. Let me think. How
old are you?
24.
24.
Yeah.
Okay, so you probably had like your Canon like still digital. You didn't deal with like the DV tapes.
Well, no, but I had, okay. So I started with stills.
Photographer.
I had like a lot of interest in stills when I was little, and I still do. I like taking pictures. It's fun.
You're a good photographer.
Thank you.
From what I see on your website, you might be bullshitting me, but
no, thank you. But yeah, no, I like I don't know, first memory of a camera, maybe like those really bad for the environment, but disposable like Kodak ones where like you literally can only take like one roll and then it's like embedded in it and you gotta send it away.
Then they gotta crack open the thing.
I think I had a green one or something, and I don't know why, but the memory that I have of it is in the upstairs bathroom that was my mom's bathroom, like from like in her room or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why, but anyways, I took a picture of like the mirror of like a reflection, and then I just left it on the counter. And that's the memory I have of that. Anyways, that's beside the point. Yeah.
Wait, did you ever get it developed?
I don't think so.
Okay,
I don't know.
You just liked the act of framing it up and hit and click.
Yeah, I used like my mom's friend's camera for a little bit, and I was like, oh, that's fun. I took a picture of like a cardboard roll, like on a paper towel. Anyways, and it was like really blurry in the back. I was like, oh, that's cool. But but my first camera was like a Canon T something, one of those ones. My dad got it for me. Very cool.
What age did you get that?
Oh gee, I don't know.
Like high school, middle school?
Probably like 13 or 14. It was like really cool gift. And yeah, so I shot all my stuff on that. I think I probably had like a phone that I could take pictures on too. So I probably did stuff on that. I'm trying to think, because like I know my first ever movie I ever made. And it's like lost media, which makes me sad because I don't know where it is. But I don't know what I shot that on. But I remember I had a telescope tripod thing, which then I took a cereal box and then I like drew a face on it with like construction paper, and it was like a robot, and I shot it with 2 of my friends that lived in the same neighborhood. But yeah, you asked about a camera, so
well, I guess I'm just curious.
Some DSLR, yeah.
No, I guess I'm just curious because something I'll generally ask all the guests is like, obviously you've been doing this a while. You've got a lot of, short films under your belt, a lot of content. I like to ask, classic hero's journey, like, what got you started interested in filmmaking?
Yeah.
And we learned a little bit about that with Home Alone, Jurassic Park, and E.T.
This movie.
That really did it.
Yeah. So, do you want me to say the same? Okay.
Please. Yeah.
Yeah. So I watched this movie. I think it was like 6 or 8 or something. I don't know, but it was on VHS. It was on a little TV in my Sito's house with my dad. And I was very obsessed with dinosaurs. Still kind of am. I had like a phase where I was like, whatever. But now I'm like, yeah, dinosaurs are really cool.
Yeah, you go through like late high school, and you're like, dinos aren't cool, man.
Yeah.
Dinos suck.
But no, they're awesome. I went to the museum the other day and just looked at them. But
what museum?
One in Boston, Museum of Science.
Oh, yeah. Cool.
Yeah, I don't know. I was just looking at them, but I really would love a life-size T-Rex replica in my house someday. But anyways,
it's gonna be a big house.
Yeah, yeah. Maybe I'll put it in the lawn.
Yeah, guarding the entrance.
Well, I looked it up. It's way too expensive. It's like $100,000. But
for a life-size T-Rex,
yeah, it's a lot.
Somehow that sounds reasonable.
Does it? Okay. Anyways, so I was like, how'd they get real dinosaurs? And I looked it up, and I saw this big T-Rex on like it was like half a T-Rex. It was on like track, and it's like, oh, okay, cool. And then I thought they had real dinosaurs, and I think I still thought it was real somehow. They just like, maybe I don't know what happened to the bottom. But then next to it, I saw a camera, like a really big camera on what I thought was a train. I know it's a dolly now. And I was like, what's that? And then I was riding a bike around my neighborhood with my mom, and I was like, what is that thing? Blah blah blah. I'm like asking all these questions, and one thing led to another. I'm just like, oh, I found out what that is, and this and that and whatever. But yeah, so that's how I got interested in telling stories. Dinosaurs.
Yeah. That'll do it.
Yeah.
Well, it's interesting because everybody has that one movie. I mean, for me, it was Goodfellas. Goodfellas was like the
Great
first
movie.
time I'm watching a movie. I'm thinking, wait a minute, how'd they do this? Like, there's obviously somebody behind the camera. Like that, I don't know. It was right time, right place. But then I started, how do they get that feeling?
Yeah.
What's with that edit? And you start asking those questions and wondering how it's all constructed. So that's very cool. And Jurassic Park, as I'm sure you're well aware, has a very good behind the scenes kind of documentary on the making of it on YouTube.
I don't know if I've seen the whole thing. I should probably look it up.
It's pretty cool. I think it's like 45 minutes, but it goes into like how they digitally constructed, some of the elements for, the Raptors and, the T-Rex, et cetera, et cetera.
Sorry.
All good. But that's very cool. Okay. Very cool. Actually, that movie ages so well for me, though, because very similar to Jaws, Spielberg knows how to utilize the CGI in a way that doesn't really draw attention to itself.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree. It's like it's a smart use of it's a tool, right? And it shouldn't be like for everything. It's like, I also think like mixing it with practicals, it's like really helps. But then I don't
helps.
Know. Yeah,
definitely helps.
I love. That's my dream. I want to be able to like make animatronic stuff. That would be fun. Not like it'd be fun to make them, but like use them in
use
projects.
them in a film.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No. I think you're right. It's like the selective. It's using it for story, not just because. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, looks great. I think it still holds up.
Do you have thoughts on James Cameron and the Avatar movies? Just out of curiosity.
I think they're entertaining, and I think I don't know. I like them overall.
Mm-hmm.
I think the song in the most recent ones are really good. The one that I can't remember her name, but she plays the lead. I forget her. Anyways, she's one of the leads. And the mother character in the family.
Mm-hmm.
Her song.
Is it Zoe?
Yeah.
I don't know her last name. It's like Salanda or something. What is it? Saldana. Zoe Saldana. I know she's not Italian.
Anyways, that song was really good, and she did an amazing job singing it. So I love that part of it.
Does the CGI work for you?
Yeah.
fine.
I think it's great.
I don't have a problem with that. I'm just curious because again, going back to Spielberg, I think he just utilizes CGI with practicals so well.
I mean,
and then here comes Cameron, and he's like, it's all CGI.
Yeah. So like, I think it's really cool, and I love the technology side of making movies too. And I just like technology in general. Like computers are cool. Like I geek out, but whatever. Like if you're telling a story, that's the important part. And I mean, it really looks good. and the I forget, it's probably like what's that really big VFX studio that does like all the really big ones?
Oh shit,
Weta or something. I don't know if it's Weta. There's probably a bunch that do those movies, but I like that those movies like push the technology, and then the rest of us get to do it like in an affordable way a few years later, and that's really cool. I've tried doing like virtual production type stuff, and it's fun when I can kind of make it work, sort of.
Yeah, it's funny because when we spoke on the phone yesterday, I forget how it came up, but we were talking about VFX, and I asked you, I was like, "Do you have any VFX experience?" And you were very modest when you were like, some.
It's okay.
And then you've got at least two projects that are pretty heavily VFX. What was the name of the Alien movie? And the microwave.
I should know of my own. Oh yeah, microwave mishaps. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was, I mean,
that was pretty VFX heavy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got some experience.
So, well, most of it was practical.
Was it really?
Kinda. Sort of. The fork was kinda. It's like a mixture of practical and real. I like using real assets, and then you can, make them cooler digitally. But so the fork, we just had I don't think we used the string. It would have made it so much easier if we did and actually planned it. But I, like an idiot, I was like, let's just chuck it across the room. We'll get it. And we'll just like whip the camera really quick. And then Ian, he played the alien. He was like, what if I just like hold it and like do this? And like, I was like, yeah, this would be even better if we had like fishing line, but we didn't. So I think it was literally just him holding it and going like, do, 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 do. And then, like, I tried to make it kind of campy. I'll pretend it was on purpose. It kind of did. Like the alien and some of that, I wanted to be kind of campy. But anyways, so I just like rotoed it out by hand, which was annoying. But then I think I tried to roto every frame, and I was like, this is too annoying. Screw that.
I was about to say, that's a nightmare.
Yeah, I'm just going to take a still and animate it up and down over really overly dramatic music.
Yeah.
And then animate the background and add a lot of film grain. Sure. And it will look fine. So that's that. So that's kind of practical. And then the UFO I made in Maya. And
you're talking about the actual spaceship.
Yeah.
That's really cool shot.
Thanks. So yeah, for that, we just like shot. So there's like a light. I should have brought like a breakdown. I said I was going to send that and I forgot.
It's all good.
I have it on my phone. I remembered to send it to myself before I left. But
send it to me. I'll send it to Shawn.
Okay, I don't have
in the video.
Okay, I don't have the breakdown of the UFO on my phone, but I can when I get home. But
because we were talking about this yesterday, catch everybody up to speed. You essentially did like a whole VFX breakdown of all the shots that were going to be in the movie, and then how you were planning to do it. Is that correct? That's what you're talking about?
Well, I did like like you see on YouTube like the like a really cool VFX shot, and then they'll like wipe and it will show what was the original footage, and then it will show the different like I guess the steps. Yeah, and so I did that for the UFO one. That one's actually the cool one. And because like it starts as just like you see the sky and it's a light on like a stand or whatever, and then so because I wanted like a beam. We put like a little haze in the air so you get the beam of the UFO like real on the actors. And then I just replaced. I think I actually used the light to track the shot because I had to do like camera tracking for that, so it would stay put. I actually learned that it's probably not the correct way to do it for like real professional VFX people, but I just like in the model world, I put the UFO like so far away and made it entirely ridiculously gigantic. Like the scale was all off, but it like fixed like little jitter problems, so it wouldn't be like do like all over the street because I didn't get a great track because I'm not a professional VFX person. But
you did all the VFX yourself?
Yeah.
Wow.
And I rendered it in Renderman, which is anyone who wants it's free for non-commercial stuff. So really great.
And real quick, backtracking for anybody that hasn't seen this, can you give us like the log line? What is this project?
Oh, sure. Yeah. So it's Microwave Mishaps. It's a short film. It's a comedy about a guy who is microwaving a dinner, and he leaves his fork in. It's very overdramatic, and so but basically his microwave explodes, and signals an alien invasion, and then the aliens show up, and it's a comedy. But it's just simple, like 4 minute, I think 5 minutes, something like that. But
something like that.
Yeah,
it moves.
It's a fun comedy, very overdramatic. Yeah.
And I'm only going to say this because you said it, but I agree, campy.
Yeah,
and I don't mean that in a bad way.
Campy.
Like campy in a fun way. It just kind of keeps it loose.
Oh, I wish you had Spider-Man 2. You probably do. I would have picked Spider-Man 2.
It's probably on DVD, I would imagine, or Blu-ray.
Yeah. Anyways, that was a sidetrack, but
yeah. Back to it.
Yeah.
Shawn's checking.
Oh yeah.
He's got number 1. Yeah, okay. He doesn't have number 2. He's got 1.
Great.
It's fine.
I love those movies. Anyways, I did want to mention, back to the Cameron thing, about like what my thoughts are on those films.
Jim Cameron?
Yeah.
His name is James Cameron?
Yes, one. 3D. I thought it was awesome when I was little, but then I'm like, whatever. It's like kind of a gimmick. But there is a movie. He didn't direct it, but I think he produced it. I forget the director. Sorry.
I'm in the same boat. Unless it's Fincher, Tarantino, or Scorsese, I'm always grasping at the director.
So, Alita Battle Angel, the one that they made a couple years ago, was like, I don't know, a lot of CGI. That movie sold me on 3D in certain scenarios. Most of the time, I'm like, probably not. But as a tool, right? And sometimes I was like, oh, I get it. There's a scene, and not to spoil the movie, but the main character, she's running from a villain. I don't know if I think there was multiple villains in that movie. Anyways, she's in an alleyway, and there's a 3D like focus rack down the alleyway. And that is like the only time I've ever seen it in a movie where I felt like, oh, I get it. Where you can help the story because you feel the depth of the alleyway, and as the villain gets closer, you feel them getting closer to you with that like focus rack down it. And I was like, okay, I get it now. 3D can be awesome.
Now, the shot that you're describing, is it more like Vertigo, or is it more like Jaws, where like the camera's backing up but zooming in at the same time?
I think it's just a focus rack.
That's it. Okay.
Yeah, the main character hero, Alita, she's like, I think she was like behind a dumpster or something, like hiding. Because I think she had like a battle or something. Maybe she was like catching her breath or whatever. Or I don't know, maybe it was at the start of it. And either way, she's like hiding, and this villain is like slowly getting closer, like about to find them. And you feel that depth of like, oh my God, like you get anxiety, like this villain is getting closer to me. Like, it was just, it was really, it wasn't like, the arrow was shot out and, like that stuff.
What's your opinion on 4D? Do you ever think that that's going to make a big splash?
I haven't seen one in real life, but all I remember is like Shrek, and like it's like I think like where they like pump in like fart smells or whatever. But that's smell, right? That's what 4D is.
Yeah, I mean, the only time I've ever experienced it was like at a theme park, like growing up, and it was like a pirate story, and it was only like a 15-minute, 20-minute thing. But like, if somebody falls over the boat, like you get a spray of mist on you, or like if they're being attacked by bees, you kind of feel the seat vibrate.
I think that could be really cool if the people that made the movie designed what happens in the theater. I feel like most of the time it ends up being the theater that's like, oh, this movie would be cool with this, and then they do, which is fine, but
because that'd be a lot to implement. I mean, think about it. If you put it into 200 showcases across America, it's like now you got to you got to retrofit 200 cinemas. What does that cost?
Yeah, I don't know. I think it could be cool though. Like the boat, like the water, that'd be fun.
That'd be fun.
Yeah, I think it was fun. I don't think every movie should be that way though.
No, definitely not. I mean, as we were talking about it, I'm like, if it was like a John Carpenter movie, like I wouldn't want that 4D. Definitely not.
Nope.
That's fun. So out of curiosity, do you have any formal like education when it comes to like filmmaking, or are you kind of just like self-taught, like learn as you go?
I went to school, went to UNH Manchester. It was fun.
Was it for filmmaking or something else?
So they didn't really have they had a film program, communication arts, cinema, media, something was the focus. So I took all the film classes, and I definitely learned some stuff. but not like film school. It was great though. Made a lot of friends, learned some stuff. Definitely, the biggest thing is like I got a chance to not like teach myself, but kind of teach myself, like because then you get like all the like-minded people, right? And then now I have 10 friends that want to make short films, and now we can teach each other and learn from doing. Definitely learn a lot more like actually working.
Hands-on experience.
Yeah. There's a lot of stuff that's like it I don't know why it's so hard to find on the internet or maybe in like a film school you'd find it, but it's like I feel like what you learn and then what an actual set is like it can be very different.
Oh my God, tell me about it. That I don't regret going to school.
Yeah. Yeah, me neither.
Let me rephrase. I don't regret going to school. I regret going to film school.
Yeah, okay.
Because like everything they were talking about was like a lot of history and a lot of theory on like editing and like reviewing movies, and like you got very little, at least where I went to URI. No disrespect to URI. I had great professors, great classmates, but like we didn't get the real hands-on experience. And then it's like you jump into the actual world of filmmaking, and day one you're on set and you're like, I am learning from scratch again. I feel like I just wasted 4 years that I could have been learning the craft.
I did learn a lot of technical stuff from YouTube, and that stuff seems fairly accurate. Well, kind of.
Yeah.
But
no, I know what you mean though. YouTube is a great resource for anybody who's looking to go out there and do it. Yeah. We had a guest on, Michael Higgs. He was telling us about how he didn't know anything about color correction. Yeah. So he just spent like 10 hours watching YouTube videos on how to color correct.
Like camera tracking, I learned that from YouTube.
What?
Yeah, camera tracking when we're talking about the
UFO. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And then did you pick up, so when you were doing the VFX, did you pick that up from YouTube, or is that something?
Yeah, mostly like, I don't know. I went into school not knowing a lot, but like coming like feeling like I knew a lot, kind of like, or like, I don't know how to say it. Like I was very into it. So I'm like looking up everything all the time in school, before school, after school, and then obviously learning in school and then outside of school.
Just immersing yourself.
Yeah. I don't think you ever stop learning, but
I know some people who have stopped learning. I don't recommend it.
Yeah. I like learning.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I think it's a combination of people teaching me stuff and then self-taught and then also learn. Yeah. Everything. Learned a lot about screenwriting in school.
Tell me more.
Just like stuff that you would think would be simple because it is, but it isn't until you're told. Like I feel like there's a lot of that kind of stuff. Like there's formatting, right? Or just like, and I think a lot of what's cool about school is that you get the space to actually do it. No one like forces you to do it. Like, cause like I wrote a feature when I was in school.
Did you really?
Yeah, it's not good, but
yeah, but you still did it.
Yeah.
I mean, how many pages?
I don't know, 100 or something.
God damn. What was the genre? Tell me more.
Oh, no,
Let's produce this thing.
I don't know that I want to make that one, but I think it was, I don't even know, actually. It's like sci-fi, but I was trying to make a drama. It opens up with like an old guy in a garden, like painting. I'm like, I really like the visual of a guy painting in a garden. And there's a cool scene with a cactus, if I remember right. I don't know. It's been a while since I've read it. I should revise it. Maybe
how long did it take you? I mean, was it
2
like
3
for
months?
A class?
Yeah,
damn, dude, that's awesome.
I mean, I definitely maybe didn't. So she had a very good and smart way of teaching us how to write. And
sorry, who's she? Your professor?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry. Yeah, my professor. She's a very talented writer, great teacher. And I did it. I just like procrastinated somewhat, and so I think I wrote like the last 50 pages like a week before it was due.
Yeah.
I was like freaking out, and because I worked at school and like, but like I worked at my school when I went to school, and so there was sometimes it was downtime where you could work on your schoolwork. That was kind of part of the nice part of that job. Besides, it was fun. I liked people I worked with, my boss and all that. But I just remember like freaking out. Like next to someone else I was working with, I'm like, I'm gonna write 50 pages in 3 days. I did it.
You did it.
That's probably it's okay. But I'll write again another one. But
do you find yourself often writing? I mean, like, do these ideas just kind of pop out of nowhere, or is it more structured, like sitting down, like really banging out for what the hell's in there, get it on the paper?
It comes in waves. There'll be times where I'm like, I am never gonna write a movie ever again. Because I can't think of a single idea. But then there'll be other times where I just have multiple ideas. I'm kind of in the like multiple ideas right now, which is good. and like I'm always trying to write. It just doesn't always come out right. But I think every once in a while I get a good idea, and it's funny every time I make like a short. Like I always try to make what I write. Like there's plenty of stuff I've written that I haven't made yet. I don't know, it's probably hundreds of documents or whatever. But like, like most of those are like half a page, and maybe there's like 20 or 30 that are like actually like a proper story.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I do a lot of that. Like I always have like random ideas on like the notes app or whatever. I'll just be like, or a piece of paper. I'll be like, oh, this would be cool. It's like cool scenes. I get those, or like themes I get often, but then I won't know where to place it. Like, but my heart will know that there's something there and I like it.
Yeah, you latch onto it.
Yeah. But yeah, I try to write often. Yeah. Do you write often or?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I write often. It's never materialized into like a feature or anything.
Yeah.
I've written a lot of short films that we've made. I haven't written anything recently, but I write every day.
Oh wow, that's good. Yeah. Oh, I got a cool app that like reminds me to write every single day, and I put like a widget. I don't remember what it's called.
Because the only thing that reminds me is just my guilt and shame if I don't.
Yeah, well, that's good. I need to get better at it because I don't write every day. I try. I should, and I want to, but I don't. But yeah. Anyways, it's just like every day. It's like a widget on my home screen. It's like you should be writing. I'm like, okay.
Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am.
Well, no, it gives me like a prompt every day, and
that's cool.
Yeah, and so it's cool because like I'm probably not going to use that for my own stuff because it's like not my idea or whatever. Well,
it gets you thinking in a different way.
It forces your brain to start writing. I mean, they're simple prompts. I guess I could theoretically use them, right? Because it's like, well, a pirate goes out to sea and loses their pot of gold. Write a story. So I guess I guess you could, but yeah, it gets me thinking.
Where did they lose it?
I don't know.
That's good.
Those underwater volcanoes that shoot bubbles.
Yeah,
and then they float up.
Yeah, that's fun. So, what was your first short film?
Oh, okay. So, I have a little story about it.
I love stories. Lay it on me.
I don't know when, it was a while ago, but I just kept making logos.
Logos? What do you mean? Like for like your production company?
Yeah. And so I was learning Blender, and so I just kept making the same like 2D logo, and it'd like fade in and fade out, and it was super grainy because I didn't have enough samples, and my computer was really bad, so it just couldn't handle it. But anyways, I just kept making logos, and then my uncle was like, "You should make a movie or something or whatever."
To put the logo on.
Yeah. He was basically pushing me in the right direction. And I'm sure other people also mentioned it. I just remember him specifically being like, "You should really, these are great, but make like a movie." And so my first, the first movie was that Alien one, or not Alien, the robot thing.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know where that went. So, excuse me. The first one that you can actually watch is called, I think it's called The Bottle, I think, and it's like a stop motion animation of a sparkling water bottle.
Oh, fun.
Just like moving around on its own, and then it like flops over or something.
Okay.
And then I made like an animation in Blender of like a little city that I made out of crystals. I don't know. And it's like a light cycle. It's like a time lapse. Yeah. So that's my first one. But the first one was that robot coming out of the woods, made out of a telescope and a cereal box. And I don't know why. I was like, my friend's going to steal my amazing idea. I don't remember that. I don't know why, but whatever. But I was probably like 10 or something.
Yeah, so you've been doing this a long time. Just kind of like practicing the craft, getting a little bit better at it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's my first one. And then I'm trying to think, like my first like one for real story. I made this thing in high school. It's not good now looking at it. It was like this, it's whatever. But I made a movie. I guess this would probably be my first one where I had like there's another one. Okay. So I made like a trailer for a movie that I never made with, it was the first one I had like cool shots where I was like intentionally doing stuff. I had this like slider I got, or I might have made it out of PVC or something. Sure. And I had my dad open the mailbox, and then like we pushed the camera in to like, what's in there? Nothing in there. And then he's like, wow. And he's like, whoa. So maybe that's my first one. But then the first one, it's like proper, beginning, middle, end, it was about sleep paralysis. And I made that in high school.
Yeah. I think I saw the trailer for that one.
Did you? Oh God.
Yeah.
Oh, you went far.
I tried to. I tried to.
It was fine. It was fun to make, and it was like the first one that like I showed people in school, and they're like, "Oh, this is pretty cool." Yeah, it was. So I did a bunch of research about sleep paralysis. So I guess it's the first one that I put like effort into.
Sure.
Or like a decent amount at the time anyways. And like I remember like looking up sleep paralysis, and I looked it up so much that I started to get it.
I was going to ask, like, is this based on true events?
It wasn't until it became real. Because I was looking up like, oh, what are some cool like folk tale monsters or whatever. And I was like, oh, what's sleep paralysis? I saw like a really cool illustration of like a sleep paralysis monster like on someone's chest. I was like, oh, that seems cool. It'd make a cool movie poster anyways.
Wait, what is a sleep paralysis monster?
So like in real life, it's like, I don't know why it happens medically.
It's like a psychological thing?
Yeah, it's
like
not
you
real.
Imagine something like sitting on you?
Yeah, so it's basically like a demon or whatever. And usually it's either in the room close to you or it's like sitting on your chest, and it just feels like you can't breathe. I don't know why medically it happens, but probably something related to anxiety or asthma. And yeah, it's this thing, and you can't escape it, and it's like terrifying. And for me, I never had it until I made this short film. This was in high school, and I can't sleep on my back still because it happens when I sleep I'm way more comfortable when I sleep on my back, but I can't do it because I freak out. So for me, it's like you're like half awake, like lucid dreaming or whatever, but you're like awake, but you can't move. Oh yeah, so you're paralyzed. You
sleep
actually,
paralysis.
Yeah. Oh yeah. You can't move, but your eyes are open and you're kind of awake. And so but then like you start to see stuff, or think you see stuff.
The daemon.
Yeah. And so for me, I was like in my room. I'm like I think my smoke detector needed a light or a battery, so the light bulb was flashing, like the green light that tells you or whatever to change the light bulb.
Yeah.
And so I'm like staring at that, and then I guess I fell asleep, but I was like still partially awake. And I guess when you sleep, you don't really move. I guess I don't know, but that became a star, like stars in space, and then like it like goes like that, and like I know it's like right here.
The demon.
Yeah, and it looked like the alien from Alien, and it was like all like shiny and like scary like that, and it's like right here, and I can't turn to see it, and I know if I turn to see it,
it's gonna get you.
Yeah, but if I don't do anything, it won't. But then at a certain point, because it kept happening like every night, I was like, screw it, I'm just gonna do it, and I'd like be like I'd scream at the monster, but then it would scream back so much harder, and it would win like every time. Yeah, and then I started sleeping on my side. Yeah.
Wait. Okay. Yeah. So did this happen after you finished filming it?
Yeah. No, it never happened beforehand.
Wow.
It probably would have made a better movie if it happened beforehand.
Wow, because everything you just described is terrifying.
It was scary.
Yeah.
I didn't have the skills in high school to make the movie what it should have been in my mind, but maybe someday I'll...
You should turn that into a feature.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know if anyone's done it.
I don't know. Shawn would know. He's a horror movie buff.
Yeah.
Anything coming to mind? Is this an original idea? Fuck him. You'll do it better.
I mean, I had this really cool bitch. I could probably do it in, sometime in the somewhat near future, like in the way I envisioned it originally. It was like old wooden floors and like a small, tiny little bed in a big room. But yeah, because it make you feel like you're all isolated and it's just you and the monster. Anyways, but yeah.
No, I think that's interesting that you bring that up. I mean, I do want to ask you like what your plans are, like as far as do you see yourself doing feature work? But let's get into that in a minute because the idea of one location was very interesting with your. You got to explain what is a slippery slope to me? It's the guy in the shower. The whole thing takes place in the bathroom. I'm watching it.
Oh, that was so fun to make for my friend. Okay, I'll explain why. But.
Yeah, I mean, you can elaborate that on in a minute, but I did think, so I'm watching the thing and I'm like, wow, what I admired about that project is you did what I've never been able to do, which is like just do a project in one room.
Yeah.
And like by the end of it, nice payoff, but I'm like,
I don't even remember what the payoff was. Oh, I remember. Okay.
Yeah. Nice payoff. But I was like, that's badass that he literally restricted himself to one room. All of my movies are like, no, guys, we have to have like 15, 20 locations. It's a short film. Yeah, I know. 15 or 20.
I think it was a school project. I think because when I took the video production class 2 or 3 times.
Okay.
You could take it multiple times, and then you just do different projects. So I think that was like, I think he had like my professor, he had like a 1 to 2 minute for your first project, and then like a 15-minute like movie that you're supposed to make. You're supposed to make 2 a class or whatever, or not, per semester.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that was one of those. That's why it was like short and isolated. But yeah, it was fun. You're bringing up the movies I wasn't even thinking we'd talk about.
I'll get to the ones you were thinking we'd talk about later. I did this deep dive, man.
Yeah, I forgot that existed.
How did you end up keeping on good relationships with the actor?
Yeah, that's my friend Fidel. He's
cool.
So he got so mad at me though,
must have been
because
a long shoot.
I was an ass. So basically, we shot that in my shower. So we had a bathing suit on.
Mm-hmm.
So my hot water doesn't last that long.
Oh no.
Maybe 20 minutes if you're lucky. Maybe probably about 30.
Yeah.
But so it took like 3 hours or 2 or 3 hours. So it was freezing.
Oh
cold.
No.
And at some point, I don't know why, because it was just me and him and maybe like 1 or 2 other people at a certain point.
Yeah.
So it's me basically just screwing around with my friend making a short film. So I'm not, I'm not being the most professional.
Yeah.
I remember there was like these pranks on YouTube where they'd like those showers at the beach so you can get the salt off and the sand.
Yep. And somebody keeps
pouring
pouring the shampoo.
So I would reset the shampoo because he's supposed to be like scrubbing his hair. I poured so much shampoo on that it wouldn't stop for like 5 minutes.
Oh, that's
and he's
good.
like, why does this keep going? Excuse me. But yeah.
It's for the shot, man.
Yeah. And then I do remember liking the radio on excuse me. Sorry. But yeah, we went, like, my school had a recording studio kind of like this, where I like actually recorded like a 5-minute news thing, and then took a snippet that I thought would work in the movie. But I remember like I was like, oh yeah, that's like, I think one of the first I was like, oh, let's mix it so it sounds like, I forget what it's called when the sound originates from within the movie.
Diegetic.
Yeah, that was like, I made it diegetic, or tried to. So that was fun.
All right. I'll move away from your earlier stuff.
Okay.
The one that I'm very interested in that it looks like did well in the festival circuit. What's the name of it? Begins with the W. Wendigo.
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 Yeah.
Thank you.
That one was fun.
Yeah, that was fun. I really loved the sound design in it.
Thank you. Yeah, that was me and 2 of my friends, Vishnu and Aisha, both very talented. We, I think, I don't remember who brought it up, but there was like a local film festival close to where they lived at the time. And we just made a horror movie, just the 3 of us. So it was fun. I think that the shot at the end worked really well when...
I really liked the shot at the end.
Yeah.
I liked how the rain kind of turned to blood.
Yeah. So
I'm not remembering that, right?
No, you're right. Yeah,
okay.
I forgot about that part. So we like did makeup on his hand. Like, I think we extended his hand with like paper and then just like painted it all, because we knew it'd be kind of like mostly silhouette, and very contrasty, and then like the nails, and then so he does that. So he's supposed to be the Wendigo. So it's actually, oh yeah, you never saw him on camera, but that's the same person on the microwave.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's doing the monster stuff. But yeah, so for that, I think we made like a rain machine. I don't know how, I guess it's old if you could tell it was blood, but I think we just like dyed water and just kept doing it and tried to backlight it enough. And I think, I did enhance it digitally later for the blood.
What'd you end up doing?
It's just color grading. So, cause it read as like really light pink, I think, like in camera. You're like, oh, okay. So I think I just like isolated her so it wouldn't screw up like how she looks, and then everything outside of it I just boosted the reds like a lot and like tinted it, and it was like all dark everywhere else. It didn't really matter.
Yeah, I was about to say, outside of just her lighting, I mean, it's all black. So yeah,
we just had like a light, like a LED point source with a Fresnel or something up on a stand, and then I made a sprinkler out of like a cheap light stand, like one of those $15 ones, and like I ran a hose up it, and then I was at their house. I probably just used their hose with a sprinkler. I guess it worked. Yeah,
I think it works.
Yeah.
Did you do all the sound design yourself?
Yeah, probably. Yeah, I didn't. Yeah, I don't. Yeah.
What do you edit in?
I use Resolve.
You like Resolve?
Yeah, I started in Premiere, and then sometime in high school, it went from like $10 or $20 a month for the whole thing to like, they're like, we want $70 a month or something. I'm like, okay, goodbye. I can't afford it.
Bye-bye.
I'm like, I'm still a student. And they're like, well, if you read the really tiny print, it's like...
Yeah, because Premiere gives discounts to students, don't they?
Well, so what I was told at the time...
Final Cut?
They do, but at least at the time, maybe it's changed, it's been a while. It was like the first year is this discounted rate, and then the next year is double that rate, and you keep going up until it gets to the full rate.
Gotcha.
Or at least, I don't know, maybe it's changed. But so I switched to Resolve, and I wanted to, but I also but I like it so much more now. I think it's really good.
Shawn swears by Resolve.
I mean,
big thumb up.
Yeah, it's just so convenient to not have to switch out of different programs. I mean, I still do for like specialty stuff, like I'll go to Maya for like 3D stuff, and then
sure.
But like it has Fusion in there now for like compositing. So it's a compositor mostly.
Okay.
Like the industry standard is probably Nuke. I've tried to learn it. I'm sure if I really like actually put in a decent amount of effort, I could learn it, but like I don't need to, right? I mean, like. Yeah, and also like the free version is fine, but it is kind of limited to like HD, which is it's fine, but I do want to do a bit more than HD for those. And I think it's fully featured. I don't know, but either way, like for the paid version is really expensive. But Fusion is very similarly equipped, and there's really good third party, a lot of them free plugins. So like I don't remember what it's called, but it's like a plugin manager that then lets you download any plugin you want. So it has like thousands.
And this is all in Resolve.
Yeah. So this is a third-party plugin you can add to Resolve, but specifically Fusion in Resolve is like one of the tabs.
Okay.
And then it then lets you act. It's kind of like I can't remember. It's like whatever. I was going to give an example, but then I can't remember that name either. But it's like a plugin manager, so you can download any third-party plugin from like thousands of different people. And so there's one that I use called, I don't know, but it's a better way to export a scene and tracking data in an FBX file that I can then import into Maya, so that way it like knows where the 3D camera is and everything, and then I can plug in my 3D models, and then it'll all line up, and it just makes my life easier. I'm sure there's a way to do it default, but with this plugin, this is one click, and I'm like, okay.
So it's all in-house, essentially. You don't really have to be swapping from different programs.
Well, that plugin lets me swap to Maya easier, and not have to like line everything up manually. I'm sure there's like a official way to do it that a lot of people, that's just the way I do it. But yeah, I love Resolve. It's great. Color tools are awesome. Yeah, it's just really good.
Hell yeah. I'm curious, do you do for work, are you full-time in the film industry? Do you have like your own company where you're doing freelance stuff?
So
because with that skill set,
so I mostly work as a PA. For now anyways. So yeah, I try to be full-time.
How long have you been working in the industry since graduating?
About 3 years. Yeah. So I started in September of 22. Mm-hmm. So almost 3 years. So not that long.
How do you like it?
I love it. I love this stuff.
I love to hear that.
It makes me sad sometimes when I see people like, oh, I'm just here for a check. I get it, right? You have a family or whatever, you got to take care of people. I get it. There's nothing wrong with that. It's just, I don't know. I'm here for the dream, which I don't know. I just like, there's a moment every single time I go on a set, like every time, no matter what. I'll tell you the first one that happened with one of your previous guests. He was there, Aiden.
Okay.
Aiden? So yeah. So anyways, yeah. There. I don't know if he'll remember. Anyways, but there's a moment every single time I'm on set. Like it happens at least once a show. I'll look around and I'm like, wait a minute, where am I? Because for the first two, it was like everything all the time, 100%. Like, whoa, look at that camera, look at that, all these things I've only ever seen, like online or whatever, or on TV. And I'm like, now I'm seeing it for real. And I was like slightly nervous. I knew it wouldn't ever happen, but I was like, what if this magic fades? Like, and it hasn't. But like you do get used to like, okay, sure, that's an Alexa. That's what most movies are shot on. It's a camera. It's a tool. It's fine. And you don't get like, but there's a moment every single time, and it's weird what like sets it off. But I'll be like, and so like one example, I'm just like doing a lockup in like the middle of nowhere, right? And it often happens in those moments where I'm like kind of forced to be away from the action, like the reason that I'm like even interested in making movies, which is fine, right? It's important that it happens, and there's fun in that as well. But like I'm just like staring at the sky at this like condor like 100 feet up in the air with a giant light on it, and I'm just like, we're crazy. Like the people like that make these movies, like that this is what we do for work is nuts. And so the first time it ever happened, I was on Julia season 2, on stage by the one of the set. I think the
probably Julia's house, the kitchen or something.
It was the kitchen. Her show set.
Yep.
And
was it the WGBH was the station where she was at? Something like that. But I know what you're talking about.
Anyways, so it was a bit of downtime, and also there was so much on that show for me because of my job, which the first day I was like, oh man. But then that show was so awesome. Like everyone is so nice on that show. I don't know if you remember. Anyways, but I was standing next to Aiden. I just met him like maybe a week ago or 2 weeks. I don't know, whatever. And we were just talking about.
Was he scripty on that one?
Yeah.
Yeah. That makes sense.
And very awesome person. But anyways.
Oh, Aiden's the best.
I was standing next to him. I don't know what we were talking about, but I remember staring. Remember how there was like a big duvetine thing that surrounded the set? And it was in between scenes, so that's why there was downtime, at least for me. And some grips, they had like a crane that they needed or whatever, like an 80-foot crane. And so they opened up the curtain and they were like to push the crane through. And I remember thinking, I was like, it's like, well, I don't think I actually thought this then. That was the first time I had that, this is crazy moment. I've later then thought of it as like, the curtain has revealed to show that the wizard in the Wizard of Oz isn't actually a wizard, but I don't care and I love it more for it. It's like, that was the first time I ever had that, like, where am I? Like, this is crazy kind of moment. I don't know why. I was just staring at a crane. It's stuff like that. Yeah. But yeah.
Well, that's good. I know exactly what you mean. I mean, the magic of the movies.
Yeah.
That's what you sign up for.
Yeah. Yeah. I love this stuff. It's cool. It's like make believe. I don't know.
Yeah, I like to say that no disrespect to anybody in the film industry, you and me included, but I like to say that this is the modern day circus.
Yeah, I've heard
like
that.
People who don't want to, grow up and want to make movies and, get paid to play make believe. We get to contribute to that.
I don't remember. Somebody told me, and I don't remember it exactly, but it was like, movies are like circus. We just show up in a town, like create havoc, and then we just go away, like in
That's
like
true.
a week. Yeah,
lights, camera, action. Everybody gets something to look at for a while and be amazed by.
Yeah,
and then they get to experience it all again when it's in its final form out in the theater on TV.
Yeah, it's cool.
Well, I'm glad that magic hasn't faded for you.
Yeah, I don't think it will. I hope not.
I hope not.
Yeah, it's like random stuff. Another time, I don't know why. A lot of them seems to be lights, but like I like lighting, but it's not what I want to do. I don't know why. But
yeah, I mean, other than writing, directing, and producing, is there anything else that you'd consider department-wise working in the industry? Anything that interests you?
So, like, I like it all. I think that's kind of why I want to write and direct. They get a little piece of everything. But I like art a lot. Like, I really like making props. It's fun. Like, I just like making stuff. Like, I got really into making boxes.
What do you mean?
I just made boxes for a summer.
Like wooden boxes?
Yeah. Oh, I made Apple boxes. But yeah. Anyway, but so yeah, I think probably like art and like props is a lot of fun. It's really I don't know. I like it all. Yeah. I mean, I like sounds, making fun. It's fun to make sounds that are cool. I don't know. I'm not describing it right.
No, I know.
I like it all, but I guess probably art. I love making props and stuff, and yeah, it's fun.
Pivoting gears back to your work, creative work, not film work necessarily, but I was very interested in your film. What was it? Lullaby For A Murder.
Oh, okay.
Is that more recent or is that older?
That's older.
That's still older.
College. It's college.
Okay.
It was like halfway through college or 3/4. Yeah, so that was fun. It's kind of.
How long did that take you to come up with in film? Looks like you had a lot of moving pieces in that.
I remember. Okay, yeah, I probably have some stuff I can talk about that. That was during COVID shutdown times, so I think I was just like really bored of doing nothing, and the same friend Fidel is in that one, who was in the one with the shower, where never like 3 hours.
Yeah.
And I was like, hey, you want to just shoot something? And there was like a trend on TikTok or something of like an assassin who screws up every single time. Like they put poison and then they switch up the drink and then they drink the one with poison. And so we were gonna make like a dumb little like sketch about that. And then I was like, this actually might be cool if we just keep expanding it. And so we just kept expanding it for like a month. And then I think I turned it into like a class project. But yeah, it was fun. I really like the shot of the wrench, like on the dashboard, and then you go to the city, and then like the music, it's all copyrighted. But it was for a class project.
Yeah.
Sorry, Warner or whoever owns that music, but yeah, I liked that, and then the whole. So I went to a JCPenney to get the mannequin.
Okay.
I think that was like one that was closing, and
were they confused as to why you wanted the mannequin?
Well, yeah,
Did they need an explanation?
Yeah, I went up to like one of the cash. It was like, well, they were like selling everything. I think like it was like a store closed kind of thing.
It all must go.
Yeah, and I went up to a cashier. I was like, hey, weird question, but any chance I could borrow a mannequin? And they were like, what? They're like, why do you want a mannequin, buddy?
I'm making a suit made out of skin.
Yeah. And so then they were like, let me get my manager. And they're like, sure, you can borrow this. That's fine. I'm like, no, I'll really return it. He's like, yeah, okay. I don't think I actually returned it.
And they were closed.
Yeah, no, it got returned. I think they were like, oh, you actually brought it back. But yeah. I don't know if it sells. I hope it does. But it was supposed to be like, initially it was just like, oh, murder thriller thing based on that like trend that I saw. And then I tried to make it like a story of like revenge to try and make them like more redeemable.
Maybe I'm reading too much into this. I mean, it's a very abstract plot, but it almost felt like less of a revenge and more of like I'm doing this out of a broken heart.
Yeah. That was kind of the idea.
It's almost like the crazy things you do with heartache.
Yeah, I don't know if I ever thought of it in that way, but like kind of like I guess for that one I probably thought more literal, but yeah, that's kind of I like that. I'm gonna go with that now.
You'll go with that one.
Yeah. It was just like, oh, these people killed that person, and that's who he's like dancing with. That was my favorite part of that one, the dancing scene.
I liked the cinematography in that scene.
Thanks. Yeah,
it was fun.
Yeah,
kind of reminded had a Punch Drunk Love feel, even though I can't pinpoint any shots in Punch Drunk Love that it was mirroring. It just had that kind of aspect to it.
I don't think I've seen that movie.
It's okay. Don't even worry about it. It's a great movie though.
Yeah.
How do you? So I guess are these more of your recent films? The Christmas one for what's the name of it? I'm so sorry.
For goodness sake.
For goodness sake. And then the one before that, the zombie movie. Zombies are
those are my two most recent.
And those are more recent.
There is one that's a little older, but I think is actually pretty decent, but it's not online. It's like unlisted.
Okay.
So I don't know if
you'll have to send that. But what I want to ask you about those two movies is what is your thought process on copyrighted music? Because in both of those, I noticed, not in a bad way, but like we've had a couple of guests on here. Crazy man, I love him dearly. Christopher Salvi comes to mind. Mm-hmm. He's literally of the mindset, fuck him. I don't give a fuck. Like if this song really works for me, it's going in my movie, and like you can come sue me. I don't give a shit.
So
like, are you doing the festival rounds with either of them?
Yeah, that's where it comes in complicated. So for the one that's unlisted, I actually went through the hassle of getting music licensed like properly.
Did you?
And
costly? No,
I think I got lucky, but anyways, I don't know, but I never actually finalized that deal because some other stuff with the that's why it's unlisted. And because I needed to get permission from, so it's an adaptation. That's so for music. No, I definitely think that the artist and the people that made the song should get paid if you use it. So that's why I'm okay with using them like for YouTube. Because like I think YouTube ends up like I just can't make money from it, but YouTube is paying for the music or the ad revenue, whatever goes to the people that made it. So I'm like, okay, whatever. I'm not making money from it, so whatever. And like, there is a thing where I'm like, okay, well, you're getting. Not that you need it for your very popular song, but you are getting people hearing your song, and then like the same with like video games. But I think they should get compensated. I don't think they should get the entire like in terms of YouTube, like I think they get the whole entire thing, right? For like a 20-second snippet of your 20-minute video. Okay, but yeah, I don't know. It's just like I just do it because I'm like I just trying to make stories, and I'm not making any money from them, so I'm like, But I do want to do more festivals, and I don't think that would go well in festivals using copyrighted music you don't have permission to use.
I don't think it goes over at all. I don't think you're allowed to.
Yeah.
They'll flag you down for that.
Yeah, so that's something I'm like, my next one I'm trying to like, well, I want to make all the music. So like I like original music.
Do you make your own music?
No, I mean I play instruments sometimes. But I don't think I'm good enough to make the music. I've tried a little, but no, I have a friend. She made for that movie that's unlisted. We actually made original music.
Oh, cool.
For the opening of it, and I think it was really cool. And it's like the best music I've ever had in a short. So I'm trying to convince her to do my next one. We'll make some cool music. I want to be also that one's very particular, and I'm putting way more effort into that one. So I want a very whimsical and like a unique sound. But I like music that's popular as well, and so sometimes it just really works. Yeah, because like the one that I ended up using music, well, I guess for all of them, but the one that keeps coming to mind is it's called Morning Deliveries, the one that's unlisted.
That's the name of the short.
Yeah.
Can you give me the log line?
Yeah. So it's an adaptation. So I did that Stephen King thing that he
the
used
Dollar
to have.
Baby program.
Yeah,
I did that too.
Yeah, I adapted Morning Deliveries Milkman #1.
Okay.
And the song I used was oh my gosh.
Well, what's the story about first?
Oh yeah, it's a milkman who's like doing deliveries, and it's a very Stephen King twist. He's like kind of out of his mind. He's like putting spiders in chocolate milk and poison and all this, and so when I made the adaptation, I was like, okay, I gotta add a little to it because like that's actually the point when I was like, I learned, I was like, I kind of like when adaptations from books are a little different because like, well, I get it. You want to add something to it. So I added a little scene where he's like talking to his mom or whatever. But the song was like, I Want to Walk Around Your Mind, I think is what it's called. And that's the one I got licensing for. And it was like so perfect. I was like, I got to figure it out. So sometimes you just kind of got to try to figure it out.
What was getting the licensing process like? I've been through it myself, but I'm curious to know if it was a very similar experience for you.
I just kept Googling, trying to figure out who actually owned it. Mm-hmm. And I at some point found out I don't remember which music studio owned the song, but I eventually found out which one, and then I sent an email and they replied. They had like a licensing email.
Did they want a fee? Like, did they want to license it out for a certain amount of time?
So I think I ended up with like a 1-year license, US only distribution. So that's why it was like, I think, I don't remember how much, but and I never actually finalized it because another issue came up with that one. Yeah, it wasn't that bad. There was a few songs that I tried that I got no reply. I don't know. I don't know. But yeah, I just found an email on their licensing. Like I was like, such and such music studio, how to license music. And then their website would show up and like, send us an email here or this inquiry box. And I did it and they replied.
Cool.
Yeah. And I think I was like, hey, I'm a student. If,
that always helps.
Yeah.
That always helps.
Yeah. This is what I'm doing. Oh yeah, and then they always ask like, what duration of the song? So is it like the whole song? Is it like starting at 12 seconds to 58 seconds? Mm-hmm. What's the context? Did
they ask you to send over?
Yeah, I think it was actually a form that I filled out. It was like 20 questions or something like that. It was like
they didn't ask for the film or anything, or like to see segments of the film where it would be used.
I don't think so. Maybe like if I had like once I finalized it, they would have wanted. I don't remember. But I think it was mostly just like, what's the context? Why this song? Like to see what their music is going to be like.
How it's going to be represented. Yeah, exactly.
That makes sense. Yeah,
100%. Yeah.
So that was process
this
for me.
whole film. You produced it, you filmed it, you edited it. It exists.
Yeah.
It's just you're not doing anything with it.
So because you have to get permission from like Stephen King's people or him or whatever to be able to put it out into the world, unless it's like festivals that are private. And because I never finished licensing the music, I was like, well, I don't want to send them a thing with music I didn't pay for because this is a little bit more legitimate. of a thing, and so that's why I haven't distributed. Now I'm not a student, so I'm like, well, I don't know if I even can still send it to them.
You should do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you should. Because reach out to them. Be like, I made this when I was a student.
Yeah. Because I don't want to like break their rules. Because like, please don't distribute it online unless you get our permission. So that's why it's not online, like where people can actually see it.
You should do it.
Okay.
I'm telling you,
I'll get permission.
Just do it.
Yeah.
That's the move. 100%.
Yeah.
Because then you've got something out there in the world that, you know, you can say you're associated with Stephen King.
Well, that was another thing. They don't want that.
What do you mean?
I think they didn't want like...
They don't advertise... They don't want you in the credits, like advertising the Dollar Baby program?
You know, you can do that. It's like... I think they just wanted like a little separation. I don't know. Maybe I misunderstood their... But yeah, just like, this is a film based on it. I got permission, but he's not endorsing it kind of deal.
Gotcha.
You need to get the endorsement, I think, to be able to publish it, is what they wanted, which makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's his story. But yeah.
So when I did it, I think I adapted a story he did called Mute.
Oh, okay. I think I read that one.
Yeah. It's very Stephen King.
Yeah.
Guy driving long distance for work. He's just found out his wife is having an affair and like took all the money, and he picks up a homeless guy who he's either deaf or mute or whatever, and he like tells him this whole story. Fast forward a few days later, turns out this homeless guy wasn't deaf or mute, and like it's suspected that he killed the wife and the lover.
Oh boy. Okay.
Kind of made all the problems go away.
Huh.
But we did it, and most of the thing takes place in a car. Mm-hmm. So we did it all CGI, and green screen rather. And I didn't know diddly shit about CGI, and I was doing the edit and whatnot. So like I put the whole thing together, and then it died because I could never figure out the CGI. It was bad.
You should do a remaster.
If I knew where that footage was, the whole thing's cut.
Yeah.
But I don't know where it is. Now, what about I recognized your Home Alone reference.
Oh, good. Okay.
Or at least one of them that you peppered in there with the setting up the traps around the house.
Yeah. Okay.
What brought about that script? And by the way, the practical effects, like the special effects makeup, they look really good on the zombies.
Thank you.
Yeah.
That is a credit to the actors. I had them do their own makeup.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
But you also get to take credit as director.
Yeah, actually, some people did. I think they might have helped too. But we followed a tutorial on YouTube, a 4-minute tutorial on how to do zombie makeup. But
YouTube's cool. That's where it's at.
Yeah. So for that one, it's kind of like all the shorts I've made since starting working professionally in film. It's like, we haven't worked on a movie in 2-3 months. We're bored. Let's make something together.
Put something together. I get it. Yeah.
And so for that one, I was like, "Hey guys, we haven't made something in a while. Let's make something." And they're like, "Okay." And so I've always wanted to make a zombie thing, but I was just, it's a lot of people doing it. I don't want to make something that everyone's making. Mm-hmm. And then I was like, whatever, screw it. Let's just make it because it'll be fun, and it doesn't have to be, the most original, best movie on the planet. It's just because I just want to have fun with my friends and basically hang out, but we just happen to be making a movie. So because of that mindset of like, I just want to make what I like watching. Like, what movies do I like? I like Home Alone. Let's see why I like that and what parts of it I like, and let's like try to combine those ideas.
Home Alone with zombies.
Yeah, and so it's basically Home Alone with zombies, and but because of that, I didn't want it to like be like, oh, this guy's like stealing ideas or whatever. So I tried to hopefully make it very obvious, like that is like, this is inspired by these kind of ideas. Please know that this is more supposed to be homage instead of ripping it off. So there's 2 references in there besides like. Oh yeah, so the plot is a guy's running from zombies, and then he like sets up traps to try and get away.
Very simple. Yeah. Very straightforward.
Yeah. I try to make stuff that's like you can actually make, and so we shot that in one day.
Yep.
It was a long day, but we shot it in one day. Thank you, crew and cast. But so there's a line when he comes in the house. It's directly from Home Alone. He's like, "This is my house, and I'm going to defend it."
Yep.
And then obviously the battle plan. So my production designer on that, Sophie, they're awesome. I was like, Sophie, can you try to? And they did a great job. Can you try to make like the Home Alone battle plan like exactly, but then like put in our things and then add your twist to it? And they did so great. And that's funny. That was the first shot we shot on that. And I probably annoyed people because it took too long. I don't know why. It took like an hour and a half to get that one shot.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I don't know. I got really particular about like the lighting of it. And like, I want it to look this way and that way. And then, but yeah, it was fun. I liked it. And then, I don't know how much you want to know about the making of it, but
that's why we're here.
So locations, probably, I don't know. So we got a cemetery, a real one. And that's when I learned that cemeteries have committees to get permission.
Yeah.
And it takes a long time. But I found one cemetery that was like, sure. And I got permission from the town hall. I got like a written, it was all written
consent.
Yeah. And then I also called the police department to let them, hey guys, just, courtesy call. We're going to be filming. There's some lights. So, you're not like, why are these guys in a cemetery?
Very smart. Yep.
But I didn't want to shoot any real tombstones because I was like, that's probably disrespectful or in some way, like in detail. So we brought in our own tombstone and we brought in our own dirt that we took away. Don't worry. And so we put, so when the hand comes up in the beginning, so that's our own tombstone. And then the back, there's real ones in the back, but they're all blurry. And we went to the section that's like 1700s. So hopefully, but anyways,
little distance in time.
So we were I was like, it'd be really cool if we could just dig a hole in the ground. We're like, okay, we're not doing that. So she's just laying on her side and she just like shoves it up through the dirt. And I think it looks fine on certain angles. And then I just thought of you. It was like, this is kind of a spur of the moment thing. Ian, the guy who plays the survivor, we're just like, wouldn't it be funny if he's like running around with this giant like drawing pad? That's the supplies he decides to bring. So yeah, and so he had some great costume stuff. Like it's like, Ian, just wear like most like lumberjack outfit you can possibly come up with. I was like, multiple sweaters, flannels, because he often wears like a flannel with a sweater on top, like in real life. And then he put ice skates in his back and like all this stuff. Like this is great. Like you have the dumbest supplies as like somehow a survivor.
It's like kid mentality about what they would be, using to survive.
It's like he's running around with his battle plan in case this happens. And it was a really great collaborative effort on that one. Like, I had like the blueprints of it and like a script of what happens, but like there's a lot of like spur of the moment, like someone suggests this and it makes it better. And so that was fun.
It's good collaboration.
Yeah. Like, so like initially I had him like trip and hit the knife thing. And then I don't know, like the blocking changed and it became so much better. When someone was like, well, what if he moves this way? I'm like, oh yeah, let's try it. And it was so much better. So I love that part of making movies. And that's the first time I shout out Hallie. You're awesome. I had a proper script supervisor help me. And so there's a moment when, I guess I'm spoiling the whole movie, but so when he trips, or I don't remember if it was Jesse or if it was Emily, but when one of the zombies trips on the Legos, it was Jesse. When he trips on the Legos, we got it. So we shot the Lego close up first, we got the throw. Sorry, we got the throw first. And I'm like, okay, we got it. And then Hallie, when we went to then shoot him stepping on them, she was like, you liked that take, right? And I'm like, yeah. And she started
rearranging all the pieces.
So everyone's doing everything. And she like, started reading. I'm like, oh my God, this production value, like the stuff you just feel, you don't even notice. I'm like, it's made it so much better.
That's why movies need to be made with teams.
Yeah. So I guess those are key takeaways from that one. I learned a lot. Cool. I try to hope to get better with each one and learn from each. So those are the key takeaways, I guess, from that one. There's probably stuff I'm forgetting. But yeah, we made a blood cannon that we didn't end up using.
What?
Yeah.
If you make the blood cannon, you use the blood cannon. Did it not work?
It worked. It's just it didn't happen.
Okay.
I don't know. It just ran out of time.
Sure.
But yeah, it was fun. Yep. It was fun. I had to come up with the right consistency of fake blood and all that. But
Yeah, you should talk to Jordan Pacheco if you ever want, massive blood effects.
Okay.
Dude knows his shit.
Cool.
Now, before we kind of wrap up the conversation, I'm curious to know what are you working on next?
Sure. I'm working on currently titled. It's a long title, so it might get shortened, but I kind of like long titles. It's called A Conversation with Wilfred the Talking Tree.
Yep.
So it's a film about whimsy and like my goal is like, so it's kind of like that's kind of been my strategy when I try to write stuff now. It's like, what do I want to watch? Which I think a lot of people have said, but like something to try, and I think at least I have fun when I make them. And so I love, and I think it goes back to reading, right? So like when you read a book and there's that moment when you forget that you're reading, and then you're like transported to that world.
Yeah,
and
it's
you're
an
just
amazing
there.
feeling.
Yeah, so that's like the feeling I'm trying to capture.
Yeah.
And it's also like the feeling when you look at like a painting that doesn't have a huge amount of detail, and like in the background you see that bush and there's like a little splotch of color, and you're like, I wonder what that is. Is that like a squirrel, or is that like someone hiding, or what is it? And that feeling of your mind filling in the blanks and like exploring like creativity and all that. That's what I'm trying to capture with this one. So it's a fantasy drama about a guy who's kind of he wants to be doing things in life that he's just not doing, and it's like kind of like that feeling of like, honestly it probably stems from like those times. And I want to like make this, I love working on sets and I love being there in any capacity, but there are times when you're like doing a lockup 2 miles from set on a 15-hour day, when you're like, okay,
is this really what I signed up for to be working in the movies?
And so it's that feeling of like, I want to be doing these things and I'm not doing them yet, and that like almost anxiety. That's kind of what the movie's about. Like so I wanted to tell a simple story, or try to, that's like very human, that hopefully people can relate to. So that's the simple part of it, of like what it's about. It's supposed to be, like I want to be doing things in life and I'm not, and I'm trying to like get that push to do them. But then I also want to take people on like a journey where they can just like look around and
with a talking tree.
Yeah, and that's the part of like, oh, now I'm doing it. I get to like, that's the like breath of fresh air. I get to imagine and like have like that life of like excitement. Or not excited. It doesn't have to be exciting.
Well, the magic of the movies.
Yeah, and so and to do it, I wanted to take the audience on a journey, like a visceral experience. And so yeah, there's Wilfred the Talking Tree, the main character. I won't spoil how, but ends up in a magic forest, and meets a talking tree named Wilfred, and there's some stuff that happens. And yeah, oh God, did I already spoil it? I don't even know. I was just talking.
I don't
but
think so.
And there's some stuff that happens, and there are themes that I already mentioned. Yeah. And I want to do it for real. So I am currently building Wilfred in my house.
Hell yeah.
8-foot foam creature. Gonna be like a worst case campy in a cool, nice way. Best case, surprisingly good.
Cool, man.
Yeah, it's like sticks for the eyebrows and like a big leafy beard and like with moss and all this, and
a regular ent.
Yeah, well, he doesn't walk; he's stationary, and that's part of his character. It's like the you're stationary in life, like it's like how do you move, and then it's like it's cool rhyming in a song that I wrote for this. So they're called evergreen, or the like the community or whatever, because they're like evergreen trees or something like that. I think and so like one thing, he's old, he's tall, he's a tall tree, he can see far and all this. And yeah, anyways, I think it'll be fun. I hope.
When are you going into production?
So it's written. It's currently being storyboarded. I hope I can shoot it. I think sometime this summer. I hope. We'll see. It's got to be like people's schedules line up and people want to do it. And yeah, there's some logistical things that I need to figure out. Maybe you can help me. Like I was like doing a scout for another thing, and I'm like looking in the forest. I'm like, yeah, but can I afford a flush? Probably not. Maybe we'll have to figure that out, 'cause people need bathrooms and like some of that stuff you got to figure out. And kind of, I feel like, especially for shorts where people come out and help me for free, I got to get like all that in a row before I start asking people to help me.
Yeah.
Like it has to be set up so it's like I'm taking care of them the best I can. But yeah, so that's my next one. I hope it's good. I'm very excited for it.
Just as long as you keep that excitement, that's really all you need.
And I want to do
logistical stuff too, but
and I have fun doing that producer location kind of stuff as well. But it's like, I don't know, I like the different phases. Like I like every phase when I'm in it until I'm like, okay, now I'm sick of it. Let's do the next stage, like post, pre, or you know what I'm trying to say.
I do.
Yeah, original music. It's gonna be fun. Hopefully.
Who's gonna be doing your original music?
Hopefully my friend. We'll see if she'll do it.
Okay.
If not, I don't know. We'll figure it out.
I got a bunch of amazing composers working in the film industry.
Absolutely.
Two that come to mind would be Ryan Blake and Brian Bryson. You should definitely link up with them. They're very talented.
Absolutely. Yeah.
If it doesn't work out with your friend.
Yeah. I really want I forget what it's called. It's like wood and has the thing is. Anyways, it's cool.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
The harp.
No, it's kind of, but
it's like a block, but it's got like the metal fingers on it.
Yeah, that one. Yeah,
it's a type of harp. I don't know what it's called.
Yeah. I like that sound a lot.
Cool, man.
Yeah.
Well, it's been great having you on the podcast.
Awesome.
Thank you for coming down. This has actually been a really fun conversation.
Oh, good.
For anybody that's listening and watching, if they wanted to find all of your work, where could they, website, Instagram, YouTube?
Yeah, so all of my social medias, which are Instagram, YouTube, and I guess Vimeo, but just go to YouTube. And the quality's better on Vimeo, but yeah. Robbie Skaff, so RobbieSkaff. And then my website is Robbie Skaff, spelled the same way, .net. I lost the .com, but then I just bought, so maybe it might be .com by the time you search it, but go .net. Either way, both will, or .net will eventually redirect you to .com if it ends up being that.
I think you sent us .net. That's where I found you.
And I think, so mostly Instagram and YouTube.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, thank you again for being on the podcast. Love talking to you about film. Loved watching your work. Thank you for sharing all of it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Awesome. And we got to have you back after you finish the talking tree, because I want to know all about this.
Yeah.
And if there's anything we can do to help as well, keep us in mind.
Yeah, this is great. This is fun. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. All right, ladies and gentlemen, Robbie Skaff, thank you. We'll catch you on the next one.